Hello, welcome to JIBRIN ANGLE on Oweleke TV. My name is JIBRIN, and this is my angle. Someone just forwarded the video to me right now on WhatsApp, so I think I feel the need actually to share this video with you guys. It's about Osinbajo, the former immediate past vice president of Nigeria. Let's play it, then thereafter I'll come and I'll come with my comment as usual. Let's go.
Infrastructure to fund power. You know, sometimes I get so emotional about this issue of corruption. I'm so irritated that the same individuals who robbed this nation can come back and tell us that, oh, we are the people who can fix it. I think we're dealing with an outrage.
Oh my God. Nigeria. I quote him, former President Yemi Osinbajo. I quote, sometimes I get emotional with corruption. Nigeria, my dear country. A blessed nation, a wonderful country, blessed with all manner of resources, human, capital, natural resources. God blessed us with everything in one, all in one blessing. But we seem to have caused ourselves. No one caused us. We have caused ourselves with bad leaders. What the hell was that about? Vice President Osinbajo. What was that? I don't know when this video was made. I don't know when this interview was conducted. I don't know why it's coming up right now, probably to spite Tinubu, his former godfather. But Osinbajo, I had issue with him, even as the vice president. Where was he? Why didn't he speak out, or speak up, or speak out during his vice presidency? Where was he when when corruption was ravaging and rampaging the entire fabric of Nigeria during the Buhari Osinbajo term? Where was he? He spent a whole full 8 years with Buhari, even under the mess they created. What impetus does this man have the moral moral right to actually spill this nonsense from his mouth? For those of you who may not know, Osinbajo is a pastor, an ordained pastor. He's not just a professor of law. He is an ordained senior pastor with the Redeemed Christian Church of God. He was a pastor even before he became the president, vice president. Yet he spent the whole 8 years under Buhari regime. Christians were persecuted, Christians were killed, missionaries were killed, ministers of God were killed, persecuted all over the northern region of Nigeria. Under his leadership as a vice president, he never fought for Christians, even he as a pastor and as a Christian. He's not only a Christian, he's also a pastor, a man of the pulpit. He never fought for Christians. He never stood for Christians. He never advocated for Christians. He never worked for Christians. That is just by the way. Talk about corruption. Where was he all throughout that 8 years? The entire Buhari's regime, administration, as at that time was rated the most corrupt administration ever. Everyone was looting. Ministers were looting. Buhari was clueless. The vice president was clueless. They were just ignoring everything they had and read about. Yet, and somebody will say he was just the vice president. What did you expect him to do? Worst case scenario, at least start from speaking. I talked about Amechi, who under Buhari's government then was managed to actually speak some truths that was detrimental, truths that were detrimental to the government, to the Buhari government. He was not fired, even if he was fired. So what? So why didn't someone like Osinbajo actually make the move, at least try to actually do something good for his either immediate or extended constituency? For God's sake, he didn't do anything for Christians, didn't do anything for Nigerians, didn't do anything for the West. He was just a sit-down look vice president. And he came, now this nonsense came out. Obviously, this was recorded probably long ago, I don't know. This is unbelievable. For God's sake, Osinbajo is the least of the people I expect to spill this nonsense, to come out with this holier than thou attitude. You said, according to him, sometimes I feel emotional with corruption. What kind of, where was this emotion during the 8 years of you and Buhari? Where was this emotion with corruption? When corruption ravaged the entire system, when corruption was at its worst state in the history of Nigeria, until now that the criminal we have, you helped to install as well. You and Buhari helped to install for us to install on us, to impose on us as the president, has now taken over as the worst, 10 times even worse than Buhari. You took over from Jonathan. Jonathan did all the corruption, embezzled money with his ministers and others or whatever. Did all that, handed over to Buhari. Buhari did 10 times what Jonathan did. And now Tinubu is doing 10 times what Buhari did. It started with Jonathan anyway. Yaradua, Buhari, Obasanjo did the best he could. I think, as far as I'm concerned, since this democratic dispensation started about 24 years ago, honestly, Obasanjo's regime can be rated. I rated, and many people have rated it the same thing. He performed, he's the best so far. He wasn't a saint. There are some ills in the system then, but he was very, very meticulous, very sincere. Obasanjo was sincere to actually right the anomalies in the system. Since 1999, we have that this democratic setup set in. we've not had anyone that is sincere to take care of the situation. All we've had are corrupt bunch of fools, except Obasanjo. Obasanjo was sincere. He came out of sincerity. He really was desirous, determined to actually do the right thing for Nigeria, grow Nigeria out of the endemic corruption. Apart from him, every other president after him messed up. Okay, except Yaradua, sorry. Yaradua was short-lived, unfortunately. Yaradua could have been the best. He could have been the best. Unfortunately, blessed memory. Unfortunately, death truncated that ray of light that was to shine on Nigeria. Thereafter, this crazy Jonathan took over and they went on rampage with Desiani, stole our money, siphoned our money and the other ministers or whatever. Then Buhari took over and did 10 times what Jonathan did, worse than what Jonathan did. And now this criminal drug lord that we have as a president we just barely 2 years. Not even up to, what am I talking about? Barely 1.5 years. He has turned the entire country 10 times worse than Buhari's 8 years. And Osinbajo is coming up with this nonsense, this trash. Someone who ate and who dined, who slept, dined with all this corrupt bunch of criminals. My God, I don't understand why. What is the purpose of the why have you people why did you start to circulate this video to spite Tinubu? That is nonsense. These are, as far as I'm concerned, this is disgruntlement. Anybody trying to do this, it doesn't change who you are, Osinbajo. It doesn't change who you are and what you are. You are just part of the system, the corrupt system that you criticized in the video. Honestly, you guys can't fool us. Enough of this fool. You can't fool us. You can only fool yourself. And I hope, I say it the third time, that Nigerians has gotten to their breaking point. And this is my angle.